find any difference between, what do I say, sales teams when you work with the sales and business teams to working with the larger people and other functional teams? Do you see any, that there is a difference in the way these teams collaborate and achieve results?
So I think there is a difference, and while some of the stuff is just based on how sales teams can be compensated, wherein there can be a significant commission, a bonus, a variable pay structure for achieving short-term results.
Right.
They have to keep delivering quarter after quarter, for you to kind of hit your targets. Right. Whereas some other functions might be operating on a slightly longer time zone, right. And they may not be compensated in a similar fashion.
Correct.
And so that, I think, inherently creates some tension in terms of how they collaborate.
Correct.
Right. And in most organizations, historically, there's tension between certain functions, right? There might be tension between, for instance, engineering and sales, right? Or finance and sales and so on and so forth. And in some cases, even between between marketing and sales.
Correct.
And I think what is necessary is for each function to really understand how dependent they are on all the other functions working effectively.
Correct.
Right? Because once they have the recognition and the acknowledgement, they can then learn how to leverage them more effectively while giving them credit and helping them be successful.
True.
And which then leads to kind of creating win-win situations and improved collaboration.
Correct. This also tells me to say, when we're talking about the different types of teams, I mean, it also brings me to the point of women in sales, right? Especially, and there is a saying that women could be actually better sales professionals than men, but there are many number in sales. So what is your observations or your thoughts around that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've obviously trained, hundreds of sales people around the world. And if I think about it, the proportion of men and women isn't equal, right? There is definitely, as I've been thinking about it, there's been more men in my classes than women.
Correct.
But I also have been part of an organization, CEB, Corporate Executive Board, where there were many, many women in very senior roles.
Correct.
And it might have been actually more women than men, and they produced fantastic results. Mm. And sometimes when I, thought about it, somebody said that maybe, because some of the leaders were able to bring in the women early on in the organization, empower them, they were given permission to bring in more women. Not excluding men, but like they were able to, the whole environment was conducive to more women coming and working.
Wow.
Whereas in a lot of other organizations, if it's primarily men, there are biases that kick in. Definitely. Right? And they may not be as open to women leaders, women sales professionals, as well as women sales leaders. And that can kind of handicap those teams. And in a way, I think it's a disservice to the team, because they are, passing on a really, really talented, group of people who can produce great results for you.
True.
And so I think there is a bit of an imbalance. I think it is corrected a little bit. It has gotten better, but there's still more work to be done.
True.